Hey guys, it's Chris Fate with Cheat the Game coming back at you. Today we are going to continue on with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and basically what we're going to do is take the last lesson to the next level, but I'm going to discuss that in just a minute here. I want to, first of all, I want to throw some shout outs to my friends over here. Cracker has come out with a new script. It's a Lua script, and basically what it does, it writes your own, or basically what it does is write your teleport script for you, as long as you have your pointers available. And I'm going to be looking into that, and hopefully I'll be able to come out with a vid on that within the next week or so. But I was kind of hoping maybe I could talk him into just coming out with a vid for it and just putting that on CTG YouTube. But that's still in the works right now. But I want to thank him for bringing that to my attention. And another thank you I want to give, that today's lesson is inspired by eriongtk. This was his idea. And I really like the idea. Basically, instead of having a bunch of different sections where you have like Cloud, Barret, Tippa, and the rest of the game, is basically you just have one line of health all the way down to vitality or speed, and you have a drop-down menu, and you can just choose between Cloud, Barret, Tippa, and it will change all their attributes to that particular character. So health for Barret and Cloud, or they are at different offsets. So when you match the drop-down menu, when you match Barret, it'll show all his attributes. When you match Tippa, it'll show all her attributes. And I thought that was a real great idea. So this was his idea, and I needed some help with this, and we collabed on it together. I come out with a Lua script, because basically what the problem is that you got primary offsets and you got secondary offsets, and the secondary offsets are from the secondary abilities such as strength, vitality, things like that. Then you got the primary abilities such as health, magic points, things like that. And but if you remember from the last lesson, that Barret had two different offsets, where Cloud was both 0 at both locations. Barret was two different offsets. He was 40 for health and magic points. However, for strength and vitality, he was hex 10. And what I wanted to do was make a drop-down menu where you click on Barret, that it would automatically pre-populate the primary offsets as 40 hex for Barret, and populate the 10 offset for all the secondaries. Hope I hadn't lost anybody on that, but basically that's what we're going to be doing today. So this is a more intermediate level, and I want to thank eriongtk. He helped me straighten out my Lua, because my Lua sucks, and we got this working last night, and so I'm going to make a vid on it today. One more thing about eriongtk is he started out with Chris Fate at CTG. He learned a lot through Chris Fate at CTG, and he's been a big time supporter of CTG for a long time now, and now he's teaching Chris Fate at CTG. So I want to thank him for that, and I absolutely love that when you guys come and start showing me stuff like this. Yeah, that's just what makes it all worth it to me. But what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring everything up, and I will go ahead and get set up for you so I can show you what's going on. Okay, so I went ahead and loaded everything up, and I brought up the cheat table that we completed last time. If you're not caught up to where we are now, there's a link in the description, and also in the upper right hand corner you can go take a look and get caught up to where we are now. But if you remember from the last lesson, we were doing Cloud stats and Barret stats, because that's who's in our inventory, or excuse me, in our party right now. And also we did items, so but we're not worrying about items right now. We're back to Cloud and Barret. Now I want you to take a look at Barret. Now the primary stats, which you have health, magic, and most of the stats, attack, magic attack, defense, magic defense, and luck, and magic, are all what we call primary offsets, and you can see that they are plus 40 as based off the character ID. However, we have secondary stats like strength, vitality, and spirit, which is running through a different opcode, and you can see that the ID for that opcode is different. Barret runs through a 10. So basically what I'm wanting to do is this right here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the script on, and this is what we're going to achieve today. You can see Cloud stats come up automatically because both primary and secondary offsets are all 0, so his will come up right away. And what we do is we create a drop down menu and we can change over to Barrett. However, the problem is that when we click on Barrett, it only populates his primary. All the secondaries stay the same. If you see strength is at 16, well, his strength is 14. And vitality is different also. His vitality is 13. You can see here, so it did not put in the correct offset. So what we had to do, and this is thanks to Arian, is that we had to create another script to watch when this primary offset was changed, that it would automatically change the other offset. So when we activate the two together, and once it reads the information, it changes to the other. And that's what we're going to create today. We're just going to do this whole thing from scratch, and I'm going to show you how we accomplish this. That way that we can come to this drop down menu and go in between cloud, and when it reads in the system, it will change over. And when we click on Barrett, it will change everything. And it goes to him. So that's what we're going to work on today. Okay, well, first things first, we're going to use our same script that we have already done. So basically, I'm just going to copy that. I'm just going to copy the whole thing and just make it into a new script. Right here, Control V, there we go. And we need to make some modifications to this. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just reuse the new mem, because there's plenty of room in it instead of allocating new memory. And basically we do that by creating labels. Now we can just go ahead and continue on, and because the newer cheat engines allow you to continue on without making a bunch of labels, but I don't want to confuse anybody, so I'm just going to create labels for both. And what we're going to do is we're going to call the first one primary offset, or pOffset. And for Barrett's, that would be the Barrett's 40 hex, where his primary health, magic points, things like that. And for his strength and vitality and spirit, he needs the 10 offset. So we're going to call that secondary offset. So I can type. And how do we put it in new mem? Well, basically what I like to do is I just come down here below code after the jump return, and what I'll do is I'll hook it to new mem, and I'll put like plus 250, and then we'll just hook the first offset, primary offset, to that, and we'll start it out as being 0, which is clouds. And we want the second one also in new mem, plus 500. And there's plenty of room in new mem to do this, and we'll call that the secondary offset. We'll hook it to that. It is 0, and we didn't have to allocate new memory for it. It'll just put it in new mem, just an area of new mem that's not being used right at this many bytes. Well, we also need to register a symbol. Now we are going to do the new thing for that in the register symbol. We're just going to add on to it for primary offset and secondary offset. And we don't need to change anything here, because this will unregister everything and dealloc everything the same in that. So we're good to go with that. And for this, that's basically all we need at the present for this particular script. So what we want to do is add that to the current cheat table. And what we need to do is we also need to make new. I'm just going to copy these right here. New things for our drop down, but we need to change them a little bit. And I'm going to show you how to change them. I'm not going to do every single one of them. I'm going to do that off camera, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing first. We're going to label this drop down menu, character specs. There we go. and we're going to paste those right here. Just paste the whole thing, and let's just go ahead and put those underneath here for the time being. So basically, for every one, when we probably should have used Barrett's. That'd have been easier, and that's what we're going to do. Like I said, I don't want to confuse anybody, because you'll be able to see it on Barrett's a lot easier. So we'll delete that. Let's go use Barrett's instead. Alright, let's try that. And paste. Yeah, we'll be able to see these a lot better. And if you take a look, you can see which ones are the primaries and which one the secondaries are. Well, basically what we're going to do is just go in here and replace these with pOffset with our symbols. pOffset, and we just go down to each one. And when we get to the secondary, we're going to replace that with offset. Just like that, in the brackets. And yes, it does work this way. I had questions about that at first. And we're also going to just change these to regular strength, and we can capitalize them. Like I say, I'm not going to do all of them on camera. I'm just going to do a couple of them. We see that's the 40, so we need that to be primary offset. And we're just going to take out Barrett. And you see that would be primary offset, primary offset, primary. All these are going to be primary offset, and these last two down here will be secondary offset. Well, I'm going to go change those right quick, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so now what we need to do is, I made a mistake here. That very first one needs to be in brackets also, and I did not put those in brackets. So let's change that to the brackets. And let's go back and take a look at our script, make sure everything looks okay. And it does. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn this on. And if you notice, it loads all clouds information because everything is 0, and all this is correct for cloud. Now if you notice, I put strength, vitality, and spirit down here because these are the secondary offsets. I don't know if it'll change back or not, but I don't think it will, but that's okay. What we need to do is we need to make a drop down menu, and that's what we're going to do. But right now we're going to do it with the primary offset. So we're going to put pOffset without the brackets. We just need the value that's there, which is 0, so that'd be fine. Alright, and we're going to put these char for right now. And this is, we're going to create our drop down menu from here. Let's move that up to the top. Ah, shoot, went too far. Right there. Alright, so what I want to do is right click it, and we need to change these to hex. Show us hexadecimal, and we're going to change that to hexadecimal. For the time being, now we're going to create our drop down menu, which is this right here. And we're going to disallow, we're going to click all three of these, and what we want to do is, first off, we need to use our values, and we're going to put as Barrett, and we need cloud up here, so 0. And I'm just going to go ahead and put those as like this. No, one more. There we go. Just to stay on the safe side. Here we go. So when we change over to Barrett, it should change that pOffset to 40. So let's do that and change it to Barrett. And let's take a look, see what happens. And take a look. It changed all of his stats correctly except for these last 3, which are the different offsets. You can see his strength here is 14, and his vitality is 13, and spirit is 9. He's still at cloud, so we need to find a way to get that to change. And basically what the idea we come up with was to use Lua to have primary offset, the primary offset always watched, and that way it can, anytime it sees the change to 40, that it will automatically write to the secondary offset the 10, the hex 10. So the first thing we need to do is come over here and let's grab another auto assemble. Let's go ahead and put our enable and disable on there, and we need this whole thing just to be Lua. And let's go ahead and make sure that we send it over to Lua. There we go. And the first thing we need to do is go to our templates folder. Now remember, I always told you to keep a templates folder, and I'm going to grab my timer. We need to create a timer for it to always watch something. And this is one I have in my template, and I will put that in the description for you. It's best to keep a timer like this handy. You can always use it. You can change the name of it to whatever you want, which is fine. That way we're going to put that here. So, and also there's something else we need to do. If syntax check, then return end. And that way, basically what that tells Cheat Engine, if you're just checking for syntax error, don't run the program until we actually turn it on. Alright. Alright, so we need to create a function right quick. And this will be for a timer. We're going to call it check since I've already got it on the timer. You can call this whatever you want, but I'm calling it check because that's what it's doing, is checking something. So we're going to say local function check. Okay, we need this to do something. So what we need it to do is we need it to check that primary offset if it's 0, that it will write 0 to clouds, secondary offset, and when it is 40, it will write 10 to Barrett's secondary offset. And so that's what we need to do. And these are integers, they are hex values. So if read, and these have to be grammatically correct. So readInteger, and we need quotation marks or parentheses with quotation marks. So, and we need to put in our symbol, pOffset is equal to, and we need to put this in hex. Then what do we want it to do? If our pOffset is 0, then we need to write integer to the secondary offset. Sorry, let me change this up here right quick, and let's just put it correctly. And we want to keep this in the parentheses because it's writing the value. So we need to use it in hex. We want it to write 0 to that second. Now, if we did another if statement, we'd have to put end here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to put else if. That keeps us from having to put it in there. And basically, we're just going to copy this down. Just like that. And we're just going to change these two values to 40 and 10. That's for Barrett. So we need to end that function, and now we need to end the local function. Now we need to, when we disable, turn off the timer. And basically you just turn it off, and I've been told this, and so I'm sure it's correct, is to basically just destroy the timer. So whatever you call the timer, and here we're calling it T, you can call it whatever you want to, but here we're calling it t.destroy. That's basically all you need to do. So now I'm going to assign that to the current cheat table, and we're going to test it out. Now I'm going to put all this in the description for you so you'll have it. Let's move it up to char, and basically where we see if it works, since it's on Barrett right now, that means that the pOffset, let's put that so we can see it. pOffset right now Well, that's in decimal. We're going to show it in hex. So let's show it in hex. We see that's, well, it looks like it's already started, but hang on a second. Oh, I hit the wrong one, didn't I? Let me change that back. Hang on. I hit the wrong one. So it was decimal. This one right here. We're going to change that one to hexadecimal. There we go. And we know that's the pOffset, and we're also going to put the secondary offset. And as you can see right now, it's 0. So when we turn our, let's show that as hexadecimal also. So when we turn on this script, we want to see a hex 10 here. So let's do that. So let's turn that on and take a look. It changed to 10, and once this code reads, it will change Barrett's secondary stats to the correct values. And take a look. 14, 13, and 9. Let me move this down here so we can see that better. Alright, let's move clouds down there also. So clouds will be 16, 11, 11, and Barrett's will be 14, 13, and 9. And that's for these right here, 14, 13, and 9. So let's change it back to cloud. Like I say, this is only activated when the game reads it or accesses it, and it does it intermittently. But you can see it changed everything back to primary offset 0, secondary offset 0. And when we change it back to Barrett, these should change also. And take a look, they all change together to the correct values of what they are. And you can continue to add on. When you get TIPA, you just keep going, elseif, and copy these down, and then put in her offsets and any other characters that come into our party later on in the game. So you know you can continue to add on to this. So this was done by Arion. I come out with the base script, but he corrected it for me because I had everything all screwed up. Because like I say, my Lua sucks, but he helped me with this, and I want to thank him for that. And I really appreciate it, and that's exactly what I was wanting, and that was a good idea. So you know you can have the best of both worlds. You can just change a simple thing or just one specific attribute list to whoever you want and change their stats that way, or you can do them separate, which I started doing it first. So I wanted to basically show this just for learning and everything like that, that when you want to do something, you know, start thinking outside of the box, and you know, don't, you know, try to get help or try to collab with somebody, you know, and you can learn a lot. We can all learn a lot from each other, and that's what I love about this CTG, is that we all come together and we can all learn from each other. I'm still learning myself, and I always tell you, when I learn something new, I like to share it with you. I want to thank Arion, and when you see him over at the Discord channel, make sure that you hit him up. Thank him also. He does like collabing with other people. He likes breaking games apart, and he would love to talk with each of you. If y'all are interested, hit him up. And if you need help, which is what I did, I'm sure he's happy to help you. But I want to thank him so much for this. This is his lesson. He come up with this idea, and he helped me get it working. I could not do it by myself, and I couldn't have done it without him, so I really appreciate it. I want to go ahead and thank my partners right quick. These guys keep Cheat the Game going. Without these guys, Cheat the Game would have to pull up a long time ago. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and also you for coming out here, placing likes on the video, supporting CTG the way you have. I really appreciate it, and I'd like to continue on. And like I say, we're going to hit some more intermediate things and more advanced things, but I just wanted to show this, that basically, you know, thinking outside the box, you know, something ain't quite working, you can always get it to work. You just got to start playing around with it, and that's what we did. And don't be ashamed to go seek help from somebody. And that's what I do all the time. And without his help, I would not have been able to come out with this vid. Alright guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave you to it, and I will be back next week, and we may take a look at that teleport script that Cracker came out with. I just need to take a look at it and see if maybe I can possibly coax him into doing a video for me, but we'll see how that goes. All right. Well, you guys take care. Keep on hacking, and most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating you. You all take care now.